Forget foreign interference. The real threat is Bible study with the vibes of a spiritual war room run by a group that acts less like ministers and more like a propaganda machine in a suit and tie. This is Theocracy Watch. Welcome back to Theocracy Watch, where we track how religious power doesn't just creep into public life. It strolls in like it owns the place, rewrites the rules, and acts like that's how it's always been. Capital Ministries was founded by Ralph Drollinger, a former NBA player who apparently decided the real slam dunk was discipling Congress into biblical governance. Since 1996, he has turned Capitol Hill into a spiritual boot camp, discipling power, installing apostles, and leading weekly Bible studies that serve as ideological tune-ups. Sessions aren't your average turn the other cheek devotionals. They're more like policy briefings drenched in scripture, where social welfare is framed as moral failure. Female leadership is spiritual rebellion, and climate change, well, that's just God preheating the earth for final judgment. We're not talking about lobbying here. It's baptized authoritarianism, sanctified in weekly Bible studies and quietly funneled into policy decisions the public never gets to vote on. Capital Ministries doesn't need attack ads or super PACs when they've got unfiltered, weekly access to the people writing the laws. During the Trump years, they were sitting down with Mike Pence, Betsy DeVos, and Mike Pompeo. These are the kind of Christians that treat Leviticus like a governing manual. And now, this isn't just domestic strategy. It's become global evangelism. Capital Ministries has planted programs in Brazil, Mexico, Ukraine, and beyond. Boot camps in foreign parliaments and selling it as moral leadership. What we're seeing in Cabarrus County, North Carolina, where school boards are sliding prayer into public meeting like nobody's heard of the establishment clause. We know this overreach isn't just random. It's the product of years spent grooming officials to believe that divine command overrides civil law. The delineation between church and state is being bulldozed by Christian dominionists, and they'd gleefully build a chapel on the rubble. I mean, wouldn't be the first time.
Right.
Capital Ministries doesn't need to campaign. They've already reshaped the criteria. Bills aren't evaluated for impact anymore. They're vetted for theological alignment. They've created a policy pipeline disguised as Bible study. So staying silent in moments like this isn't neutrality. It's manufactured consent. And if we keep letting these ministries embed themselves in the halls of power, they won't just bend the law. They'll redefine government itself as a branch of the church, and everything else will be ruled out as heresy. Stay calm, stay collected, but also stay curious. This has been Theocracy Watch.
Well, to kind of quote Roadhouse, until it's time to not be calm. This is part of the whole purpose of Theocracy Watch. We like to refer to it, I like to refer to it as a creeping theocracy, but it's not. It's not creeping at all.
Well, when it creeps on all levels,
right?
On every level of government, in every part of this country. Yeah, that feels more like we're being steamrolled at this point, and gaslit to the extent where Christians will come in here and be like,
I don't know what you're talking about. Your rights are fine. I'm worried about my relationship with Jesus Christ.
And that they're being oppressed by us. Yes. And the whole deal, we're oppressing them by not letting them impose their religion on us.
Right. They're appalled that we have the audacity.
Yes. That's their offense. That's how we are being offensive to them. It's like, we're like, stop hitting us. They're like, oh my God, you told me to stop hitting you. Oh, it's my religious right to abuse you.
Yeah.
That's their whole claim. And now they're so into our politics. There's just so many different ways that they have embedded themselves in our government.
Again, it is just so many different levels. And if you're not paying attention, and to be honest, I've never paid attention. I can't tell you that I've ever paid attention except for like the past year and a half, 2 years, where I first started to wake up and realize, like, wait a minute, something really is happening. It's not just talk, like things are going too far. And for a long time, money has just been funneled in the right directions, away from us, into militarization of police. You know, there'll be now more ICE on the streets, just ripping people out of homes, and they're going to arrest people to, again, we've talked about this, to put fear into people so they'll stop speaking up. And that's really when dominoes will fall quicker.